Hello, everybody, and welcome to Naughty or Nice with Miss Cassie. Tonight, my very special guest is Snow Mercy.
Hello.
So great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I have been hearing about you forever. It seems like,
ever since time.
I know, no,
Forever.
not forever, but ever since, I've been running around in LA. I started, I hit the LA scene somewhere around in 2009.
Okay, yeah.
So I think I remember hearing about you in 2010 around DomCon sometime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, that was like my first DomCon. My eyes were like wide open. It was like I got to perform with Mistress Melissa on stage, and and there's all these people that I'd only dreamed of, and it was like they were there.
It is really, it really does. DomCon does bring together a lot of people in the community, like just from all over the world, literally. So yeah, it's a great place to see people, and it's one reason people go to DomCon, in my opinion, is just because you are going to have a high density of people in the community that you can bump into. Like everywhere you go, you're like, oh, you're that person, and
it's the one event where I know I might see people that I played with, say in Chicago or up in Oregon or something. It's the one chance where I might actually get to see these people when I don't have time to travel to go see them. And one thing I think that people forget is that, they think that it's only for pro doms, but it actually is a community event. Yes, it is, geared towards pro doms the first couple of days. And then it's geared towards the kinky community and what we're all about.
Yeah, it is. You get male and female doms, you get submissives, you get pros, you get people in the lifestyle, you get people who are fans, you get people who are vendors, you get people who are, produce films or magazines, or, just people who are just curious, tourists, you get everything.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I've been going to them, DomCon, since I think 2005.
That was like the first one.
Or six, not quite. I'm not sure. They've been going before that, but I used to go when they were still out here. Actually, they were really close to out here, here in Studio City.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember which hotel, but it used to be a hotel not too far from here.
Oh my goodness.
And I guess
Vineland.
Vineland. Yeah. So they used to have them there, and I guess for whatever reason they moved to LAX. To the LAX Hilton, I think it is, and which is good and bad. It's good in that it's bigger, there's more space, but then there's more traffic trying to get everything.
There is, but if somebody's flying in for the event, I mean, it's right there.
Very convenient. And so for the last couple of years, what I've been doing, because the traffic, I found that staying there is a different experience than just driving over there. Even though I live in LA, I get a room, and it's a different experience because you wake up, you have breakfast. Inside the Hilton, they have a breakfast, they have like a lounge area that everybody goes to. It's really fun because everyone wakes up and you're like no makeup, and like all these doms and friends are all having their breakfast together, and you're like talking, and then it's definitely a different experience just driving there and driving home.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've never rented a room at DomCon, but I have at other conventions. And it is totally different when you're actually staying in the hotel of where the venue's taking place.
Right.
Because believe me, even if you rent a hotel that is down the street because it's cheaper, it's still not the same as actually being there and seeing, people and other instructors and stuff down at breakfast. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That is so awesome. I've got to do that one of these years.
It's not too bad. It's pretty affordable. And
is it?
Yeah, it's not too bad. And if you get a bunch of people like in on it, it's actually very affordable. So
Oh,
I
cool.
suggest it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had considered the travel lodge down the street. Some of us have done that before.
I would try to get a room there, and then people have spontaneous little parties, and so in my room, I know we had a spontaneous little party, and we were a little noisy,
Oops.
a little too noisy, and we ended up getting in trouble. And so we didn't want to get kicked out of our room, so we had to like tone it down. And so we had a very quiet play party.
That could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen anywhere, not just with play parties, It's like I've seen all sorts of parties get out of hand, not just BDSM.
Yeah.
Though I think with BDSM it's really well in hand, to tell you the truth.
Right. Yes.
Oh, speaking of, what kind of play do you like to do with your hands? Are you a spanker, a pincher, a scratcher?
I'm definitely a spanker. I think that's probably one of my fortes is spanking. I'm a very, very heavy hand. I've had a lot of people remark I'm one of the heaviest hands they've ever experienced.
Nice.
For a woman. I can spank for hours, literally. Like I can literally spank for 2.5, 3 hours.
That's a long time.
It is. I mean, I do take breaks, but I mean, I can actually do that, and I don't know if
without bruising or anything.
Without bruising me, but the other person.
No, I mean your hands. Yeah, your hands. Because I remember when I was first doing this professionally, and after about 15 or 20 minutes of spanking somebody barehanded, I often would get like bruises up here. Or here.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't even get unless I'm like spanking somebody very intensely. I don't get any bruising. It gets red. It definitely gets red hot. If I'm really doing really high impact with my bare hand, I will get little blood blisters along the creases in my hand.
Interesting.
Yeah, but other than that, no.
I've had that happen once, but it was using a paddle.
But
I got the blood blisters from handling the paddle and getting spanking with that. It pinched it like that. That was the oddest thing.
Yeah, and I've gotten like from flogging too much. You get little blisters from flogging. I don't have the same amount of stamina with flogging that I do with spanking. So it tends to be one of the things I do a lot of. And I do a lot of videos, a lot of spanking videos. Spanking seminars.
Well, spanking is huge, though. For a lot of people, that is their gateway kink.
Yeah.
It really is, and it amazes me because before I even knew there was a community, there was always somebody that wanted to spank you or something for whatever reason.
They're spanking, they're spanking in fraternities.
Yes.
They're spanking. You have the spanking game and birthdays.
Oh, yes.
You get spanked. I mean,
how many birthdays, even into adulthood, non-kinky people still try to do a spanking line on your birthday because they think it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. And but and spanking is very common. It's easy to do. Anybody can do it. You don't need any special equipment. You can just use your hand.
No, and it doesn't require a lot of instruction, though I find that when somebody actually does take a class and finds out that there's a little bit more to it than just putting somebody over your knee and just smacking them, that, there's actually a buildup to it, that there's actually things you can do to confuse the nervous system and make it last longer or bring it into a more painful sensation or a softer tickler, is that a word? Tickly sensation, and that there's so many different ways that you can do that depending on where you want to bring them in the spanking.
Right. And so what about you? Like, what brought you here in 2010?
Oh my goodness. Back in 2008 when the recession hit, I had to look for other things to do for a living, and I ended up falling into acting. Ended up coming up to LA a lot for auditions and modeling, and one of the modeling jobs I was on, I was with this film producer, and we got to talking, and I said, well, I'm a submissive, and he says, well, I happen to know where there's a dungeon. That was the first time that I played at Passive Arts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got to enjoy that. got to play with Sal.
Sal.
Who hasn't?
I actually have never played with Sal.
Really, you
I've
haven't?
never played with Sal. I'm not sure how I've fallen through the crack, or I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
There's like certain people I've never played with, and I'm like, how have you never played with that person? Because I started as a submissive.
Well, yeah.
But you know, I guess I just never really made it to passive arts very much. I don't know. Maybe he was busy. I don't know.
I don't know. It was very strange, and I know that he was a film producer. I figure, this is just a good roll in a hay, and he's going to be on to somebody else. So after getting my first taste of a public dungeon, I'm going, oh, there's more to this. And somehow I went to the crypt for something, and they ended up getting me hooked up to FetLife and what is it? Dungeon Servitus. Dumina Angelina's place.
Yeah.
And I started working my way into the community. And I had pretty much decided at that point that I wanted to train to be a pro dom. So
were you submissive?
I had assumed a submissive role because I'd assumed most of that in my life just because of, when I got married, it was love, honor, and obey. I was somebody's property.
Oh, okay.
So it was a role I was comfortable with. And, well, that film producer, he spanked me and stuff. Oh, this is fun. I enjoyed submitting to him, but I had been thinking for many years that I had wanted to train as a pro dom. So when I connected up into FetLife and everything, well, actually back then it was MySpace.
FetLife came out, I think, around late 2007.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. I'm glad a lot of things started happening around 2007, like YouTube, and then, Facebook kind of started
So it was really weird. I had met this dom on MySpace, and then it also hooked up with one on FetLife. And they're both kind of vying for me. Well, the guy on MySpace, I don't know what was going through his mind. He was like waiting to do some special Valentine's thing for me. Well, this other dom swoops in and is like, no, babe, come with me. And first thing I know, I'm kidnapped that night. I'm wrapped in rope. I'm driven up to the lair in LA. It was crazy.
So you got kidnapped. So were you thrown in the trunk?
No, actually, I was tied in rope and thrown in the back seat, and his girlfriend was driving, and we pulled over to the side of the road and various ditches and different things along the way up. It was, it was rather exciting.
I just know that that's kind of like one of those areas where you can get really in trouble if you get caught by the police if the police pull you over.
I know. Fortunately, his girlfriend was the lookout. But and talking to him, I told him, I said, I really want to train to be a pro dom. He says, oh, I can train you as a dom, but the best doms start out as submissives. So, he talked me into serving him, so I kind of ended up traveling with him for a while. And that's kind of how I really ended up more on learning about the professional side of things. Because I right away first feed in, I'm, assisting with classes and I'm running around and meeting all these people. And it was a really awesome experience.
I'm glad you had an awesome experience. I'm glad you. So, like, being a pro dom, there's some prejudice against pro doms. Like, there's, I would, some people are like, I would never accept payment for playing. And have you ever experienced that? Has anyone ever given you any kind of attitude about that, or a hard time, or did you lose any? Like, have you lost any friends because you decided to be pro dom, or?
Not really. Mostly there are some people that don't know I'm a pro dom that obviously do not understand what one is.
Right.
And because they're relatives, I had to kind of bite my tongue and not slap them upside the face and go, stupid.
Yeah.
We are not prostitutes. Because he just assumes that that's what they are.
Even if we were prostitutes, it's like, it's not really their problem, if you're not doing it in their bedroom or you're not doing it, it's your business.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's your business.
It's like, I train for this, dude. It's like, I don't need to have sex with my clients. I have skills. I kind of like to have sex with the people that I'm in love with. I'm just not one of those people that can just fuck anything. So no, being an actual prostitute was not an option for me.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm awfully good at a lot of other things. I'm really good with people, and I have got a really devious mind. So this fits for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I was having dinner with a couple last night, and we were talking about people who are into BDSM tend to be more intelligent. They tend to be just more interesting, and because BDSM it's complicated. There's a lot of rules and negotiations and like safety and like any like two humans can just get together and copulate and bang 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 and have sex, and you don't really have to think too much about it.
No, there's a short little fantasy build up, some foreplay, whatever you need to do to get in the mood. But no, it usually doesn't require a lot of pre-planning.
BDSM requires a lot of work. You have to negotiate and check in during the scene, and you have to make sure you're using the equipment correctly, or even if you're not using any equipment, making sure everybody's in a good space. They're gonna, everyone's happy, or even consensually non-happy. And a lot of people don't realize, being a pro dom, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's a service. We are providing fantasy role play in the realm of BDSM.
Right.
Depending on what their fantasies are. I mean, I do all sorts of things. It just depends on where they want to go with it. But it is a journey. It is a fantasy. Everything from wrestling to smoking sessions to spanking. They all want to be brought to a certain headspace is the name of the game.
Right.
Where, when we have sex, we are also brought to a certain headspace. But, I mean, different headspaces, actually.
Yeah,
one same but different.
Yeah, you're paying for an experience when you're with a pro dom. You're paying for an experience. You're paying for that to be provided by somebody who could probably bring you to that experience.
Yes.
And you're paying for that person's time. And I find you're also paying not only for the person's time, you're paying for that person's the person has to have the wardrobe. You have to spend time. I mean, the woman just doesn't fall out of bed looking hot. She doesn't
oh no! Yeah, I remember one of the first when I was independent, and one of the first sessions that I got, this guy, he's going, well, don't you have thigh-high leather boots? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't. I have vinyl thigh-highs. Is not something I can afford yet. He goes, but every pro dom should have leather thigh-high boots. We ended up sessioning anyways.
Okay.
He settled for stinky leather shoes and blue jeans.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm just remember that. But that was one of the things that almost killed the session. He says, oh, no, it has to be. And I'm like, okay.
Some fashions are very strong. I mean, if you have a craving for something, that's what you want. If you're with food, I mean, if you really want that chocolate ice cream and you get told all you have is everything but chocolate ice cream, I mean, you will, if you're hungry enough, you'll be like, okay, I'll go for the vanilla or strawberry ice cream.
But that craving is going to build, and then the next time you have access to ice cream, you're going to eat a gallon of the chocolate. At least that can happen.
Did you get the leather boots? You can always just frame it well, if you really want them, you're more than welcome to buy them. You're more than welcome to buy them, and then you'll be the first to worship them, and you'll know where they've been, and and these will be yours, and you'll know, and then you can take photos, and you're going to be so proud to see me wearing these boots, and you're going to know that those are your boots. I've had people give me gifts, and I'm like, I just feel so incredibly blessed that people want to give me gifts.
Oh, isn't that cool when that happens?
And then they get to send them, I make a show of, I definitely make a show of taking pictures, of me enjoying my gifts, or usually clothes, or maybe a computer or something. I had a while ago in 2006, a client got me a computer, so I can email and be, in communication with him and post stuff, and it's really fun. And but shoes are a very popular gift.
Oh,
Shoes
they
very
are. They
popular. I
are.
have so many shoes. So I remember the first time I got a really expensive pair of shoes. And I was looking at them like, this one shoe, not the two shoes. This one shoe costs more than my first car. And I was just like, I can't believe this. I'm like, I can't wear these. I'm like, but
yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I drool every time I walk past the Jimmy Choos at North Street.
Yeah.
The shoes are so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's some
those shoes cost more than my first car.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was like, oh my God. And then I get like, I kind of feel like an asshole sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, there's like poor children who don't even have shoes. And I'm like, well, so I try to like balance it out. So I try to do good things for people to balance out. Sometimes I just feel like.
But this is the thing is, we actually do need these kind of things for our job.
Yeah.
We do need certain kinds of clothing.
Yeah,
like for instance,
latex.
your beautiful outfit that you're wearing tonight is latex.
Yeah, I wear latex.
I
wear it for you.
I appreciate that.
It is a hot, humid day. In case anyone knows, we're in Los Angeles. They know.
Oh
right?
yes,
and it's been really muggy and hot.
Yes, and we had like 2 drops of rain, and it is just the humidity has just gone off the scale.
But I sucked it up, and I'm wearing some latex.
That is amazing. I bet there's got to be some questions or some chatter or something going on in that chat room by now, Mel.
Yeah, the chat room's starting to.
Mel's just chilling.
Chilling. No, the chat room's starting to get busier. We have Willie in the chat room, Tiger. We have Guesticles. I love that name, Guesticles. Yes, Guesticles. We have Carrie, Pig Carrie. Hello, Piggy. And Don Javier. And there are people that are watching the show. If you are watching the show and you're not in the chat room, please come into the chat room and hang out.
Chat room. Does he have any goat jokes yet? Because I know that you were mentioning goats in your thing too.
I have my goat over here.
She has goat.
Oh my God, I love goats.
Well,
I love goats.
Yeah, Dom always has some great goat jokes for us.
Oh really? I would love to hear some goat jokes.
Pig Carrie does a shout out to he goes, Miss No Mercy. So, and Pig Carrie says that he's never played with you. Or she's never played with you. Sorry, Piggy.
I was very confused. Maybe it's different Pig Carrie. I know I've never played with Pig Carrie.
Yeah, Piggy Carrie. Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody's played with Pig Carrie.
Oh, well, I guess I'm just not. I don't know. I haven't played with Sal. We need to like get all the people together I haven't played with and just have a big.
Well, do you ever get much chance to play socially?
Not lately. It's funny. I haven't been playing socially as much as I used to. I used to be a huge exhibitionist when I first started, and I used to play a lot. And then something just changed. I think I started. You start hearing the chatter of people like critiquing people's techniques, and then hearing like the politics of like, oh my God, can you believe this person's playing with this person? This person used to be with that person, and it turned me off. And I do sometimes play in public, but I don't play like I used to. I used to play freely, and it was like I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my God, I get to play with all
when
these
you
people.
could just have fun, and nobody was judging your technique, and it was just
and then it just started becoming like I feel like I'm in like junior high in the sand pile, people, and so I just kind of was like, it turned me off. But I do sometimes play in private, but I play publicly, but they tend to be spaces I just feel really secure with a lot of my friends.
Well, I've gotten so used to playing on stage that playing in like a regular dungeon in a play space, sometimes I'm so used to having my space cordoned off that it's harder to play because it's like people walk through your scene.
Yeah, there's that.
Which really throws me off my game. I mean, I was doing this scene at the Lair, and I was having this great scene and everything, and this woman chooses to run in with a bottle of champagne and stash it behind the St. Andrew's cross that I'm playing with, bumped into me and caused me to drop a torch.
Oh no.
Which fortunately, I mean, I know what I'm doing with fire. That was not the issue. The issue was that she bumped me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was not that important for you
Yeah,
to
just seeing.
do that.
Yeah, so you kind of want your space to be sacred. So, so I used to do a lot of performances on stage. I haven't been doing it as much, but also I've just noticed, you know, over time, because I've been doing this professionally for about 11 years now. Professionally, I mean, I've been doing it privately longer, but I noticed I'm a heavier player. I need more intense scenes, and so people can't necessarily handle watching that.
Yes.
And also, a lot of places don't necessarily want you doing like blood play.
Exactly. Yeah. When I play privately, when I play with my play partners, it's like I do needle play and I do blood play.
Yeah.
And those are things I prefer doing in private. You know, I like actually doing those at home. I don't even like to do those in a dungeon.
Right.
You know, but one of the persons I play with is an exhibitionist, and it was just like she had me do a cutting in public, and that is nerve-wracking. Oh my God, you know, because it's like not only am I trying to concentrate on her, I also know that everybody is watching you. And with something that kind of edge play, it's really, really important that you follow exact protocol. Exact. You cannot slip up anywhere, you know, because you will be judged on everything.
Yes. Yeah, and I think some of those things of like I've just seen some things in the community, very public events where somebody got hurt and then just became like this. So it's kind of like it's kind of turned me off, and I don't know if we can do something to change that or something, or I don't know if there's any way to change that, or I don't know.
Mel, is there a question?
Yeah, there's statements. I mean, and then we'll get back to the blood play and the question. I just wanted to cut in. Horned One is in the chat room and asked if you,
Horned One, okay.
Yeah, and asked if you got Horn's One email on Night Flirt, and this
is like now a message service.
Yeah, and Horned One says I can do a tarot card reading for you, Miss Snow.
Okay.
And then he says you've got 2 cups and 4 wands, and so now he's describing what your tarot card.
A tarot card reading from somebody from Night Flirt. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you're doing. And talking about blood play, all sorts of blood play is allowed at the Lair de Sade, no matter how weird, wild, and crazy it gets.
Really?
So it's really accepted. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do enjoy playing there. One of the few times when I do, you know, play, because I can do what I want. I like edge play. You know, I like doing fire play and knife play and blood play. It's just, yeah, because you were talking about the intensity. It's like there's something very artistic and creative about that kind of play, but also it kind of satisfies that sadistic edge. But you know, it takes intelligence to understand how to work that sadistic edge.
It does. And I'm happy to know Lair de Sade. I was at a party in Vegas, and a fairly new dungeon, which I'm not even sure is still around. And we were playing, and I'm like, and I didn't want to, like, out of respect, I don't want to do blood play. So, you know, I just don't go that far. But now that I know Lord, like, I would never have even done it, because I just would think, like, you know, blood play is like one of those things nobody wants to see. And
well, yeah. I mean, and it does freak some people out. I mean, that's one of those few ones. Well, when I did my scene at DomCon with my play partner, one person did get up and leave. You know, but we let them know what we were doing. They just probably were not expecting that much blood.
They didn't think you were for real.
Yeah, I know. They didn't think I was going to pull the scalpel out and go.
They're like, oh, she's not really meaning that. There's no way.
Oh, and then of course the two of us start giggling and cackling, and I can imagine that, you know, that.
Yeah, they kind of throw people off.
A little bit, you know. But yeah, you do get a point in your play where you like to be able to do that kind of play.
Yeah. And so we were talking about blood play, and you, where did you move from? I don't know where you said you came from.
Oh, originally I lived in San Diego. That's where I grew up.
Well, okay, so that's your connection to Domina Angelina. Nice. And you're still at Sanctuary.
Oh yes. Yes, I've been there forever.
Just like you've heard of me forever.
Just forever.
And and we have some mutual friends. I mean, I think we have a lot of mutual friends.
Oh, I know we
Yeah.
do, because it's like, it's like our paths are just kind of, you're here at the Dominion, I'm over at Sanctuary,
Yeah.
events go by, major events like DomCon. I know that, our paths are probably going this way. I finally made it to the Mistress Tea this year. This is the
I
first
didn't
year.
make it to the tea. It was a Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't make it.
Yeah, in the past, something has always come up. It's like I've had to teach a class or
Mhm.
whatever, and I finally got to make it this year. I was so excited.
How was it?
It was really nice,
Nice.
because I got to sit down and talk with a lot of women that I haven't had a chance to socialize with in forever.
Mhm.
And we didn't have to talk shop.
Mhm.
I was like, we actually got to talk about some personal stuff, which that is so nice. We all talk about techniques and doing this, that, and other things. Sometimes it's just nice to hear that, yeah, the kids are doing great. And we just moved here, and I just got a new place there. And, my vanilla life is terrific. We don't hear enough about, people
Yeah.
forget that we are a fully dimensional person. That we are not BDSM all the time, that a lot of us, some of us wash our own dishes.
What?
What?
That's not real. No, I know it's
well,
funny.
I don't,
Yeah.
but
It's funny in the presumptions, like don't you have a stable of slaves to wash your dishes and scrub your floor and do this? And honestly, they probably wouldn't do a very good job because they're trying to get punished. And I actually have had a few people, slaves. I had one amazing slave who was awesome, but he was just like one out of a million. And then most of the others, they offer like, hey, I'll wash your dishes and clean your bathroom, in exchange for this. And they just do it. They just don't do a good job. And so I'm just gonna do it myself. But I'm also just a control freak. Like, I've always done my own laundry since I was like 14 years old, because no one else knew how to do my laundry.
I'm actually glad you said that, because they do not realize that actually a good dom is a control freak, that we are in charge. It's like we have to actually orchestrate chores for them to do.
That's work.
It is. And we have to delegate it, and plus we have to be able to grade their performance on it, and how do you gauge the reward or the punishment for a job well done or not well done? And I don't like being worked for a punishment. My punishment, if that's what you're getting for, is denial.
Yeah, no, that's how denial is actually a great punishment. Just deny you. I used to have a slave who was the amazing one, and I used to just deny him my Facebook. Like, that would kill him. I would block him on Facebook, and that just killed him. That was his punishment, and that always got the point across.
Well, I find that's actually very efficient, is the denial portion. I've had somebody for a long time, they're not getting that, that until they actually do some service, they're not going to be denied play until service actually happens.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
So do you like service? You like someone who's service oriented?
I do, if they're the right fit for me. Because I am very high protocol. I was always high protocol when I served. I don't expect anything less for anybody else who wants to be with me. But I'm upfront about that. It's like, you're going to know from the very beginning when I sent, return your email and say, well, if we're going to do this, first of all, you need to write your emails in a proper letter format. You will start with a greeting, and you will do a proper body with complete sentences and paragraphs and complete thoughts, and you will do a proper closing, and you will address me properly. You will be calling me mistress. None of this casual nope stuff. So it's like, most of them don't even make it past the first email. But if they can, it shows me that they're willing to take it to the next step.
Right. Yeah, first impressions are very important when I get emails from
Mhm.
people and it's just like not even, I mean, maybe a hello, but then they just like two sentences of asking me about, well, do you do this? Like, do you do this act?
Mhm.
And it's just like, wait, who are you? How do you know who I am? And so that's just, some pointers here from two prodoms. Like, write a nice, intelligent letter that you'd maybe write to a future employer or somebody,
Well, yes,
yeah.
and please respect the
Yeah.
fact that we are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
We do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
We are not some hoochie coochie mama that is just available for your sexual pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're always like, wanting to date me, and it's like, no, you may
Mm-hmm.
book a session with me.
Mm-hmm.
I provide very good service, but I don't date my clients, and I don't date men. I just don't. It's
Yeah.
kind of my thing.
So there's two things. Yeah. Do you get many female clients? Have you been finding that you get a lot of female clients?
Rarely, and it's a shame because I really do enjoy working with the females. I think one of my most favorite sessions was this young woman who decided to make an entire day of birthday surprises for her boyfriend.
Hmm.
And they had been dabbling a little bit, so they booked a half-hour session with me, and I instructed her to bring your toy bag in. And we spent a half hour of me teaching them how to use all the toys in their bag and how to interact with each other, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really awesome. So I figured out, who wanted to take the more dominant role because they really didn't know, and the submissive, and got them comfortable with their toys.
Yeah.
So this was part of the plan for later on tonight because they were going to go play later.
Yeah.
But I thought that was the most awesome thing because her whole day she had planned for this guy breakfast in bed, and they went out to this place, and they went shopping for some sex toys, then booked a session with me to learn how to use the toys. And then they went running off to like a special dinner after that.
Aw.
And I mean, it was amazing to be part of something like that. Freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I've helped some couples. I love it. It's so much fun to get couples. I've been seeing increase the number of female clients, and it's amazing. I'm really, really happy about that. I've
Oh,
been
I
getting
know.
quite
There's a few girls down at the dungeon that have, semi-regular female clients.
yeah.
I mean, I've gotten them in the past, mostly for consulting reasons, like
Mhm.
somebody that was working for a fashion designer
Mhm.
wanted me to tie a bunch of different bondage patterns because
Hmm.
they wanted to do some different designs.
Oh,
Of course, it wouldn't tell me who the designer was, so I don't know
okay.
who I inspired to do what, and I most certainly didn't watch the runway that year, so I
Uh,
don't know.
yeah, I've been getting the female clients. I have gotten some consulting people
Mm-hmm.
who are working on some, a television script
Mm-hmm.
or TV. Um, I get mostly men though, and all types. I get really young men. I get much older
Mm-hmm.
men. I get people who are just like barely getting by to the very, very wealthy
Mm-hmm.
clients. Um, it's interesting, but definitely you need to have people skills in order to do what we do.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's
You
definitely
do.
very people oriented, and not only just like the dynamics with clients, but the dynamics with other women, your coworkers.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Because everybody's got a different personality, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's, approaching this from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the girls we work with, they're just doing this to get by in school until they finish their degree.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people that are on a more serious track.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that play well with others and other people that don't play well with others.
Right. There's some divas and there's some like amazing people who are like, I consider my best friends. So
Oh, I know.
yeah.
Some of the most, I've met some of the most amazing people, well, in the dungeon and in the scene,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
both lifestyle and professional.
Yeah, and it's like they're all backgrounds of women, like women like the I guess, women who come from like the Norman Rockwell kind of family where mom and dad are still married and like mom was a
Mm-hmm.
stay-at-home soccer mom, and then you have the people who had like not so you know not so easy childhoods, and then you have some ladies who got their master's degrees, and then girls who whatever got their cosmetology degree, and they're or some people who are doing this in they're doing really well. And member went to school, so you got
Yeah,
everybody.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a wide variety of people that get involved with
Yeah.
this. You know, for
Yeah.
some people, I mean, they really are into this.
Mhm.
And, you know, that kind of, when I see the young submissive that comes into the dungeon, oh, I just love doing this. I'm going to love getting paid for it. And I have to take her aside going, it's not the same. You will really, really enjoy the first couple of months, but it's not the same as playing with your daddy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go into subspace, honey. You got to protect yourself. You know, they don't realize that this is a business. We're not choosing who we're playing with a lot of the times. You know, I don't know about the Dominion, but the Sanctuary, we get walk-ins.
Yeah, we get
And we don't always know, you know, people. We don't know if they have prior experience. We don't know if they have any skill at all. We don't know if they're a predator. Was there a question, Mel?
Yeah, there's a couple questions in the chat room. One question, it's from guest 442. Does it hurt when your favorite client stops seeing you?
That's a really good question.
That is a good question.
Oh, it depends on the client. Oh, your favorite though. Your favorite, like, stop seeing me. Well, that's a very general question, because you're like, well, did they stop seeing you? Did they tell you why they stopped seeing you? Like, do you know why they stopped seeing? So if they just like disappear, that I actually get kind of worried. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're like, did something happen? Are they sick? Because sometimes people get sick, and or, you know, did their situation change? Their wife find out or something? You know, you sometimes like, did I say something? Yeah.
Willie is downtown Willie. Hello, downtown Willie. We love you.
Some of the best furniture ever.
Doesn't he?
Yes. Does he have a question? No.
Awesome, man. I tell you something. I should have realized it was him. You know, because he has one of his crosses. I should have realized.
Oh.
Yeah. There was another question earlier. They were asking, how do you feel about? Let me find it. Get down, trying to find it. It's way up here.
Do you want to look for it? And I'll try to answer about the client. I didn't really fully answer.
Yeah. Well, the next one is just, what do you think about old school players like the Marquis de Sade? That's from guest 442. So
Oh.
that question afterwards. What do you think?
I never met him.
Yeah, a little bit before our time.
I never met him. I hear he did some crazy stuff and had a good time. Hey, why not?
But I hear that his reputation far precedes him.
Yes.
You know, that he really got this incredible reputation, and everybody still uses his name in vain, but that he wasn't quite as heinous as we were all led to believe.
I don't know. I probably a fun person to hang out with. But as far as a client, it sometimes hurts. I've had some clients that, you know, like kind of stop seeing me for whatever reason. And sometimes it's just been like, there's been some differences of opinion. I've had some clients who have fallen in love, like literally they're in love.
Oh,
and they're like, goodness. And then some of the discussions are, you know, I'm thinking about leaving my wife for you. And then I'm like,
wow.
This is not where I thought this was going to be going. And then, you know, you stop seeing them, and I do feel sad. I mean, it's like a breakup. You kind of like, oh, I really enjoyed playing with this
especially
person.
if it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I know there was one older gentleman that I used to see quite often when I was first a pro dom.
Mm-hmm.
And I cherished him, you know, but he was really old. And he didn't come in for a while, but, you know, somebody I knew him. And then I found out through the grapevine he had actually broken his hip.
Oh, okay.
And that's why, you know, he may never come in session again. But he was, you know, I think he was in his 90s.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, and things like that happen, you know, it was bittersweet to find out what happened to him, but yet I was relieved to know that he was still alive, you know, and doing his best, you know, but then it was like, I wish, I don't know. It's like,
yeah, sometimes, and then I had a client who it just wasn't working out, and he wasn't communicating with me that things were not working out for him, and he just disappeared. And I still was able to reach out to him because he was friends with me on Facebook.
Okay.
And so I'd like reach out every once in a while. Like, I remembered his birthday. Hey, happy birthday. You know, and hey, I heard about this. Hey, I just want to pass this along. And like his other mistress just like blew up and like, you're trying to steal my client. You're trying to get him
Oh
back.
my God.
And it's just kind of like, well, no, it's like I have this really human connection with this person, and this person and I shared a lot of time together. And I don't forget a person. I don't just like write a person off. So if I want to say happy birthday and like, hey, congratulations, I saw you have a granddaughter.
Yeah.
Don't make me feel bad about that.
No, you shouldn't be made to feel about that. Oh, because we all know that, sometimes clients just change it up and they go see somebody else and they find maybe they get a different connection with somebody. But we still worry and care about our clients, especially if, we've been seeing them for a while. You had a question, Mel.
We have Patty who's coming to the chat room. Welcome, Patty.
Hi,
And she goes, hello, everybody. I'm late. And then guest 442 says, who wouldn't fall in love with you, Mistress Snow?
Oh, I'm going to blush.
Oh.
I'm going to blush.
I'm in love with you too, but two doms would not be able to work it out. It would be just a really bad problem. I don't know.
I'm hard to live with.
So am I. So am I.
I just got crazy habits. Like I never go to sleep. It takes a lot to get me to go to bed. I don't know. I'm like neurotic about the labels in the refrigerator. They have to face the same. I just have a headache.
I get that though. My girlfriend makes fun of that for me all the time. She knows that when I open the windows, they are perfectly even.
See, they're just,
and the blinds are perfectly even.
But it just looks nice. It's an aesthetic thing.
It's balanced.
I'm an artist. I like to see things. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, and I've been letting the fabric that's draped over there. This is 3 inches shorter than this one. But I've mucked with it and I can't make it work. So putting the guitar there I'm hoping is going to balance it. But no, it's like I get that.
Yeah. Cassie?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Snow and I would get along well. I'm really hard to live with. I don't sleep at night, and I'm very creative. And you know what? Yeah, I think we could have 2 different houses. It would be great.
2 different houses. Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about my perfume. Do you know of a perfume?
No,
and I brought you.
I actually
brought you. I brought you one.
Oh, you're so
I brought
sweet.
one for Reverend Mel, I think. Didn't I? Okay, so I don't want to feel like I'm not giving her one too. I have this perfume. It's called Domina, and it's the scent to embrace your feminine power. And I helped create it, and it's bottled out here in Southern California. And I want to get this to you. And it's got the scent of chilled pears. We've got tuberose. There is a little bit of oak in it. And it's kind of like, it's like floral. You're welcome to try it. I don't know if you're sensitive to perfumes, but let me open it up for you. And if anybody wants to buy it, you can look at snowmercyproducts.com or just go to snowmercy.com.
No,
I'm really bad at I should advertise this a lot more. I can't open this. My nails are too long.
No worries. But no, this is fabulous. I have not heard of a mistress doing her own perfume line or even cosmetics.
That's what I would love to do.
Clothing, yes. You hear a lot of clothing, latex, jewelry,
yes,
but nothing cosmetic.
And I purposely designed it. I worked with some designers who I've been friends with forever, and I wanted to make it look like just any kind of perfume. So if your mother-in-law, if your mother-in-law saw it, she doesn't think you're wearing a dominatrix perfume. And so it's a travel, so it's a roll-on, and I made it very discreet so that it's like your little secret. If you're wearing this, you're kind of you got your little secret. You're wearing this perfume that just makes you feel more dominant. And I'm working on. I want a male fragrance too, and I'm thinking of calling it Yes Sir. so I'm going to come up with a bunch of different lines or a bunch of different fragrances. So I went to perfume school. It's just one of my little hobbies I have.
Oh no, fragrances, people don't understand what's involved with making fragrances.
It's hard,
there's that perfumery and where the Caribbean district of Disneyland and the little shops there. There's a little perfumer and they make custom blends for people.
Really?
And I'm hoping it's still there, but they used to actually keep them on file. and you could order it and they would remake it and send it to you.
That's awesome.
But they would like match it to your body chemistry because perfumes smell differently on different people depending on your pH balance.
Yeah. And so I wanted something like, I wear this, and it's funny because I wear this at the dungeon, and and the girls, like they recognize my scent. And so when I started manufacturing this, because I first started in the perfume, this perfume concept by just checking out a bunch of different types of perfume that this company works with, and I wanted to find something that I would actually wear, and that my clients would enjoy smelling on me. And so I started. This was the particular one that like I just smelled right. People loved it on me.
And look at this. It's cute.
I mean, and it's very simple, like a lot of the high, Snow Mercy, S&M are my initials. And so I started wearing it, and so now my clients recognize me. So like they recognize my scent, and it's funny because now a lot of the ladies at the dungeon are wearing my scent.
Wow!
And now I'm like, damn it! Now I have to come up with something else. It's actually really great because now I'm like, I need to find something that now it's unique for me. So
that is cool though.
So I'm gonna go back to the perfume school and start tinkering around some more. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's and this our sense of smell is so important. Like.
Oh no, I'm actually an aroma. I do aromatherapy.
Oh really?
And so I've studied a lot of the base notes and everything that goes into making a good scent. And of course, I do it for therapeutic reasons. And I actually muscle test people to find out what their body is craving, the aromas that it needs to bring balance to their chakras.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really cool.
We need to connect.
But I work with organic oils as compared to working with the florals and stuff. So. I'm working with like, patchouli or eucalyptus and peppermints and sandalwood and basil and rosemary and different things to evoke different things.
Interesting.
And like, for instance, a lot of the citruses evoke energy. Tangerine in particular is very energizing. But orange will kind of give you a lower grade energy, and it lasts longer because it's a lower base note. It's fascinating.
Oh, I know. I love it. I was having so much fun there's a perfume school in Koreatown, and it's called the Institute of Olfactory and Art, or Art and Olfactory. And they have like a whole wall full of just little vials, and you can get everything. They even have ambergris, like the whale. They actually have real ambergris.
That's amazing.
It's really expensive.
That's rare.
It's very rare, and they actually have it. So if you ever want to go and tinker around, and they sell it. They sell like little samples or whatever. They have everything. That's what they do. And some of the people there were trained in France, and it's so much fun. And I have a chemistry background, so I'm like sitting there geeking out.
Oh, how fun. Yeah, I haven't been doing much with scents because I stopped wearing perfume.
We can give this to a friend.
Yes. Well, it's mostly because I was around people that they wouldn't allow me to wear scent.
Oh.
So I stopped wearing scent, and everybody knows me by the smell of my cocoa butter now.
See, it's so interesting how you just associate somebody and and like scents like leather, like leather boots, like you were talking about, like the leather boots or latex, or like when I smell latex, I get excited. I love. There's like this smell, like.
Oh no, I get it with leather, and it's ever since I was a little girl. There's something that leather does for me. It's just transports me somewhere, and I can sit there, and even as a little girl, would just sit there and just. I could be lost for 10 minutes.
A boot or like a leather glove, or what was it? A jacket?
I can't go by a leather shop without stepping in. Never been able to do that. I'm not sure, where that comes from.
I used to hate the smell of leather. I know that's blasphemous. I used to choke.
My saddle shoes from school.
I used to choke on the smell.
Really?
And also, other scents like coffee, cooked eggs, and leather. And now I love the smell of leather. It's something I learned. I learned it. So, I now love coffee.
Oh,
but
God,
but I used to gag every time I would walk by the cafeteria because I'd smell coffee. The teachers have their coffee going. I'm very sensitive to smell. I'm so sensitive that like I think that's one of the reasons I'm good at sessioning, because like I could pick up people's scents and
Yes.
I pick up like what I can just get really in tune to them. I think a lot of pheromones are excreted when we're interacting, and
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I worked in a gym for about 5.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I would notice that throughout the course of the month, a woman's cycle actually changed when men would be attracted to her.
Like at the gym.
At the gym.
So when she get hit on more.
When she would get hit on more, and at certain points in her cycle, when she was fertile, when she's dropping an egg, men wouldn't know why, but they'd be, and their eyes would be fixated on their ass.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Well, I just creep out on girls' asses all the time. That's such a creep.
I see your finger, Mel. What's up, honey?
Oh, I just have to say this comment. It just made me laugh. They probably heard me laughing in the background. Little T has come into the chat room. Hello, Little T. Guest 442 says, "You ladies are witches. That's where it comes from." Witches.
What part of this is a witch?
I am, but it has nothing to do with being a proton.
Oh.
Carrie likes the smell of bacon.
Good one.
Yeah.
And loves the smell of leather morning, noon, and night. Yeah, they're talking about, and Little T says, "I love good smells, oils and stuff. I'm like Snow Mercy. I don't want to have the same fragrance as everybody else. I mix some stuff up so it's different."
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and
I use essential oils when I do scents, and a lot of times it's like I will actually just make up a custom blend for that night.
It's great, and it's and it reacts with your body, and it's
absolutely. It's like my grandmother could not wear cologne or perfume. It would turn rancid on her.
Oh, they get really funky smell, yeah.
But if we got her, she loved Gloria Vanderbilt. So if we got her the Gloria Vanderbilt perfume dusting powder, she smelled wonderful.
Yeah.
And it worked really well on her. Any more questions now?
What is that W or is that 3 minutes?
That's 3 minutes.
Wait, did it really?
No, it's like, wait.
I don't know if this was like the kink salute or.
Yes, Girl Scouts.
Are there any pressing questions that need to be asked of me besides, can you read some tarot cards?
You've got perfume.
Yes, TSRnetwork.com.
What other products or other things?
I sell t-shirts, which are kind of goofy, but they're fun. If you look at SnowMercy.com, you can see them. I have some custom t-shirts, and they were made. A fan made this beautiful design of the Snow Mercy, and he offered to make t-shirts, and I'm like, sure. And it's so much fun. Like, girls love these shirts. I take pictures of girls in my shirts. I take pictures of my goat over here. I have stunt goat over here.
So they can get these products at SnowMercy.com.
or you can also look at Snow Mercy products, and you can directly buy the perfume from there.
Now I do have to ask you about Twitter. There is an @SnowMercy and an @SnowMercy1.
That's an impersonator. @SnowMercy1 is an impersonator. That's
because a lot of us are following her because her picture looks very similar to her.
Because that person's impersonating me.
So there you guys need to go to the original @SnowMercy on Twitter, because I figured that out after the first post. I'm going, this doesn't feel right, and I went and did a further search, and then I found your real profile, and I deleted the old tweet.
It's an impersonator, and I contacted Twitter. This happened a few years ago, and I just kind of ignore the person because they want my attention. They're also impersonating my friend Nikki Rouge, and so they sometimes. So Nikki Rouge will sometimes make fun of the other impersonator and kind of engage, and she has fun with it, and I just ignore it. But yeah, that's not But I've actually my name is almost trademarked. I submitted the paperwork, and because of this reason, because I can't tear down that Twitter. The impersonator.
No, we can't. But I mean, it gets very, very confusing.
It is confusing, yeah.
Because I did my research, and your site is so much better than the impersonators. It's like, ugh, who
Yeah.
are they trying to fool? Oh,
Yeah.
what's the question now?
Statements and questions. I'm going to go through this really fast.
Sure, okay.
Willie likes the smell of W40 and motor oil.
Oh, I totally get it. I actually love the smell of WD-40 as well.
And Pig Carrie says the Snow Mercy is naughty.
Oh.
Tiger says naughty. And guest 442, I don't know about this question, but I'm going to go with it. Do you ladies like the smell of sperm? I've heard some ladies say it smells like bleach. Ooh. And Little T wants to know the .com address again for your t-shirts.
Go to snowmercy.com, or you can just email me snow@snowmercy.com. And if you go through my Twitter or my Facebook, you can see pictures of girls wearing the Snow Mercy shirt. Like, the girls love this shirt. It's pretty awesome.
So they love your perfume. They love your shirt.
It's just such a fun shirt. It was made by somebody in Milwaukee, and it's a great shirt. I wish I should have brought one. But do I like the smell of sperm? I like the smell of my partner's sperm.
There's something to be said for that. If I was really bonded with somebody, they smell good to me. But in general, no.
If it's my partner, like, I can enjoy that. I think he probably means like semen, not sperm, but like.
I'm sure he means whatever the ejaculate is, and it's like, no, ejaculate. That's just disgusting. Oh my God, I had a client. He says, "Oh, I saw it was hot, and they made it drink." And I said, "Okay, well, jerking, and here you go." And he's like, he says, "It's not as hot as I thought it was." When he realized what it smelled like and everything, he's like, Yeah, I said, sometimes, honey, things are better left to the imagination.
Yeah.
One? You have an announcement? Mel has an announcement.
Well, we're at the end of the show, so I wanted to put this out to everybody. The rest of this month, the only show that's going to be airing is Naughty and Nice with Miss Cassie. I'm in the process of packing. July and August, we're going to be having a summer break. And then we're going to have some surprises for you afterwards when we come back. And so it's going to be rather interesting. So everybody, please still watch Naughty and Nice until the end of the month, which is the last show, is on June 30th?
Yes, and so Miss Ann will be the guest that I have on June 30th.
Wow.
I'm really looking forward to having her on. The next couple weeks, I've been in talks with a few different people. I'm hoping to have a nice surprise for you. But we will have fun. I guarantee it. You never know who I'm going to come up with.
I'm looking forward to seeing who that will be.
Well, you were great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure.
I've heard about this show for a long time, so I'm glad to finally be on camera with you.
Yay. Well, we'll have to have you come back.
Thank you.
When we're back on the air in the fall. So once again, all your people, if they want to get in touch with you, snowmercy.com.
Snowmercy.com is my personal site. If you want to find me on Facebook, The Snow Mercy. Twitter is Snow Mercy. Instagram is The Snow Mercy.
And you're also on FetLife.
FetLife, yeah. Just look up Snow Mercy. I'm most active on Facebook. So if you really just want to get a glimpse into my life, Facebook's probably the best way to do it. But I do, have sites that I do check it. FetLife, it's just like, it's overwhelming for me. So I sometimes just kind of stick to Facebook.
Well, no, actually, I find more people communicate through Facebook.
Yeah.
On FetLife, we kind of, we keep profiles and records of different things. But I find, as far as the actual chatting and everything, more people connect on Facebook.
More people connect with me on Facebook. FetLife gets a little, what I mean by intense, it's like, Facebook can be a little more lighthearted and just vanilla people kind of like, but FetLife gets the conversations get a little more intense and involved, it seems to me. And so,
and plus there's a lot of guys on there that they don't respect that we're professionals, and they're just trolling for the next piece of ass they can dip their little dingle in.
So Facebook just is like, okay, it's happy over here. I'm a little bit happier. So no disrespect to FetLife though.
No. And it's an interesting mix of people, and I've met some great people on FetLife. But yeah. There are those dinglers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we need to say goodnight unless there's any more announcements, Mel. Any more questions?
Nope, but when we're off on our little summer vacation, please go into the archive page and check out all the archives and catch the shows that you've missed, and also go back and catch Snow Mercy. She's also been on the Hudsey Hawn show, which is still on Vocal. So it's still up there. So you go to Vocal by going to the archive area, and if you got the hots for Snow Mercy, that's a good show to watch. So just search for it.
See me in person, or you can call me on Night Flirts.
Woo woo.
Absolutely. And if they want a session with you, how do they get in touch with you?
You can email snow@snowmercy.com, or you can email me snow@dominionsm.com. Either way we'll get.
Excellent. Yeah, because I know some of our audience members definitely got the hots for you. And I know that they definitely would want a session with you.
Oh, well,
I mean, who wouldn't want to? You're hot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Likewise.
Aww.
I want to see you in action.
Wait till we turn the camera off.
Oh,
After show.
After hours.
After hours.
Woo! The stuff we can't show on
Yeah.
YouTube.
We'll send pictures.
Perhaps. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you next week.